Thank you for the question that's been sent to me regarding some passages from the preface to the book The Flight of Consciousness, which is one of my first publications, this one here. Flight of Consciousness, a contemporary map for the spiritual journey. And in the preface, the passage that's referred to is the one when many years ago I was in an enlightenment intensive format, which is exchanging, answering and asking the question, who am I? You say, who are you? And the other person replies, and then you turn the thing around and ask them, who are you? And you have to talk for some while, and you do this relentlessly over many days. And every now and again you are fished out of the melee of the participants, and you're hauled off before the spiritual teacher and or facilitator, and you sit down. He or she turns to you and says, tell me who you are, which is the question you've been immersed in any case, for days at a time. And in the preface to The Flight of Consciousness, I spoke of the event where, having attended more than one enlightenment intensive, and some kind of it's as if there's a flow or something is set off in you whereby the question just takes a hold in your life. And when the teacher turned to me and said, tell me who you are, I had just had enough of answering, really, from the rational mind, and so I said, I know not what. All I remember is seeing a bird outside through the window, and a couple other things that I wrote about, and this was my last memory until he turned to me at the end of whatever I had said, which was in no way conscious, and he said, now you are teaching me. So this is the story, and you can read it in full in The Flight of Consciousness if you're interested. But the question has come up, is this experience, this event, was it an awakening experience? And I find it an interesting question, because since I wrote The Flight of Consciousness, which has that and many other people's extraordinary psychospiritual breakthroughs, insights and experiences, I've taken the view that an exalted human experience is in no way the same as a spiritual experience per se. And that was a view I came to after many years of consideration, in realizing just how extraordinary the human being is. Even if that human being is aspiritual, which is to say has no spiritual, religious, meditation or sacred life aspirations whatsoever, but is just a kind, considerate person who may have exalted feelings of love or consideration or pleasure or ecstasy in their own lives without ever assigning it in any way to being a spiritual experience. Therefore, and thus, I have designated these kinds of experiences exalted human experiences. And the spiritual experience as such to not be an experience at all, because there are those times when we lose ourselves, shall we say, or you may say find ourselves, it's the same thing from a different direction, when the divine or the eternal is present and you as a separate entity are no longer there. And it's very difficult, in fact, to call that an experience, because anything that you haul back from it by way of description is kind of bland. It's colourless. It's flaccid. It's not the thing itself, because the thing itself will not be contained within mere verbal description. So I thank you for your question, and my answer is, it was an exalted human experience. It was one where I could let go of myself, mainly because I was exasperated. The wonderful question, tell me who you are, it's who am I, the traditional mode of self-inquiry, is a question which just drives you into a corner, and when you're really flat against that corner and there's nowhere else to go, chances are you have a breakthrough. This was my moment of breakthrough. And was it an awakening experience? I don't know.